Hey, welcome back to another segment of Cafe Talk with Pastor Glover. I am so excited. I'm always excited about when my guests come and everything. This time I have none other than Mr. Rickey Thomas. Listen, man, I had your wife on a couple of segments ago, bro. Yeah. We're gonna talk about some of the same thing because I want to get your perspective on the children.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's start with some just down to earth basic things. How long you been in the ministry?
Been in the ministry since 2021.
2021, and I just want to say United Christian Faith Ministry, where Dr. Mark A. Ellis is the pastor.
Amazing.
All right. So anyway, and for you people, there you go. All right. So in regards, and I noticed in the ministry, now I don't know what else you do in the ministry. I think you're in the men's ministry,
Right.
or part of the men's ministry.
Yeah.
But I noticed that you help your wife out in the bookstore and stuff like that too.
The bookstore, the book club.
Okay.
So we're part of the book club together. Startup Kingdom Readers, and initially we were working together, doing the book reads together, and then it branched off to where it was women's ministry and then the men's ministry. So now I kind of partnered with the men's ministry to start a men's book club, and we've been having a great turnout. A bunch of brothers showing up consistently on a consistent basis, and our last one we had a great following, and I think we're getting ready to start our second one. We hadn't really come up with a topic yet, but we're tossing some ideas around.
And you all meet?
We meet once a week on a Thursday.
Okay.
Fellas show up. Like I said, we had a good, consistent group. They enjoyed it. Got a lot of feedback from it, and we're ready to go forward again.
Now, are you all meeting in homes or in the church, or how are you all meeting?
No, we all met here.
Okay.
Each Thursday we're meeting here.
Cool. Okay. So I think that's very important to highlight that us as men get together and do something like that, because a lot of times we get together, we want to do sports,
Right.
A party or whatever have you, but to come together as men and fellowship around a topic in a book or whatever have you, that speaks volumes, right, really, for us.
Right. Especially like our last book, we read, I forgot the name of the author, but it was about the struggles that we as men face when it comes to being a leader of your family. And it had some topics that really kind of opened everybody up. A lot of men were giving their testimony. So we were able to get a lot of vulnerability. And, with brothers sitting together saying, hey, man, look, I'm dealing with this,
Right.
I'm dealing with that. Like,
Right.
It was real impactful. And like I said, it just kept getting energy and getting steam, and we kept it going. So we're looking forward to the next one.
In this statement, iron sharpens iron, I think that one of the big things about iron sharpening iron is the transparency.
Right.
When you're transparent, you tend to be a little bit more vulnerable, and I believe that that's what helps us to grow through and with one another. So I think that that's very important. You have 5 children.
Correct.
You have one grown, one almost kind of grown, because she'd be 18 pretty soon.
Right.
And I did speak about this on the segment with your wife, but I want you to give me your perspective of your 5 children, the uniqueness of each one in their own perspective.
Okay. Well, like I said, we have one that's grown as a star. She's 22 now. She's finished with her first degree and now pursuing a master's degree.
All right.
She's my star, basically. She's outgoing, bright personality, always positive. The unique part about her is we grew up together. So I had her when I was pretty young. I was 17 years old.
Gotcha.
And she got to watch me transition and grow and to the man of God that I am now. So it's like we got different stories to tell. But, that's my baby. She matured me.
I feel you. I feel you on that one. Trust me.
So then there's Addison. Addison is the flower child too. Addison's 18 years old. Just high aspirations are high. She is super smart, talented in so many different areas. I feel like everybody who meets her, she touches them in a special way. She's a very caring child, loving. She it's so funny. She keeps me in check every time. Every time I get up to walk out the door, is where you going? What you doing? So
Yes, indeed.
she is the parenting figure almost.
For some reason, that's what happens with children. They
Yeah.
get to telling you,
Right.
what time to come in, what to do, and where to go.
That's it. She keeps tabs.
Yes.
And it's Isaiah. Isaiah's 17 now, and I'm watching him mature into a young man. It's so funny because he was always like a baby boy and homebody, but now he's like venturing off, trying new things. We made him join ROTC and band when he went to high school, and he protested that. He didn't want to do it, and then now he's loving it. He's fully engulfed in band, and like that's his. I tell everybody I've never seen him passionate about anything as much as I've seen him with this music thing. So to see him open up with that, like that's been pretty great. There's Aubrey, and Aubrey, I know you heard from my wife, but that's our fire. She got a spitfire spirit,
Yes,
man.
indeed.
But she's talented, super athletic. She plays every sport almost: volleyball, basketball, softball. Grades are perfect. But she is the witty one. I love her spirit. She engages everyone, and she's real direct. She can talk directly.
And
to
as I told your wife, I see that. I've experienced that with her through the ministry.
Right.
I see that in her.
Yeah, no, she speaks very great, well, in any crowd. And then there's Tyler. So Tyler is a personality out of this world. Like I don't know even how to describe him. He's like looking at me as a kid again. So he's like my inner child.
Wow.
He likes to do anything. Basketball right now is his whole world. So he thinks he's gonna be the next Kobe Bryant.
All right.
He thinks he can dunk at 6 foot goal right now. He'll try it. He can go out
I
there.
love it.
But yeah, no, he's full of energy and enthusiasm as well.
Well, that's cool. Listen, this being the first series or first segment, I should say, in a series for Father's Day, give me. You have 5 children. You've been married.
Yes.
How long?
Now a year and a half.
Year and a half. Okay. And so, and your wife did tell me at the time I had her on the show that you all are a blended family.
Correct.
A lot of people may not know that. A lot of people don't know that about me and my wife as well. We are a blended family. 30 years ago, we met. I had a son. She had a daughter, and we just grew up together. I was young, so I was. And my daughter is that person who keeps me, she navigates me, and she's just that person. I won't get into that right now, but from a father's perspective, I've been speaking about this on the last few segments about how things seem right now, in the world,
Right.
how it seems such a struggle for some people, and some people are really, actually, it's not just a thing of that's what they're thinking. They're literally having struggles. And then our children are suffering the consequences one way or the other, either through neglect or through just the inability, or even through the fact that some people feel like they've reached their end. From a father's perspective, give them something that helps you hold on in this time with your children, and study leading your family, study being that man.
Right.
Can you give them something that they can turn to, something they can hold on to?
Well, first, faith. I mean, faith in God and faith in the ability that God can conquer all. Again, I have just recently got into the ministry, got into the church, got into the Word, but that's where I found like my true leadership ability. Once I've submitted to God and got God as the head of my life, this is when I was able to properly lead my family. Like I said, with my daughter, she witnessed me grow from a young boy, basically 17 years old, living whatever reckless life I wanted to live.
Right.
And it wasn't until I got in alignment with my calling that, she started to fall in line. and see me grow, and then that kind of transcend down the road to the younger kids. But hope, faith, and love. I mean, love is probably the biggest thing, because with kids, a lot of time they're looking for that reaffirmed affirmation from me, that they're doing it right, that they're okay. They run into different problems, different challenges in life and school, with people, and just happen to help them navigate through that. Like, no, you're not wrong, or you don't have to strive to be perfect at this. Whatever you're good at, stick to that, have faith in yourself, believe in yourself, and just keep being a word of encouragement to them. Kids are gonna go through a lot of things. I noticed that with my oldest daughter too. When she reached that teenage years, we bumped head a lot because I'm trying to tell her and force her not to go down this path and not, make the mistakes that I made. But in the end, it was hard for her to really accept that because of the way I was presented to her. And like now, I'm getting another chance to do it with the younger girls, and it's like, okay, now it's kind of more of a guiding than a force and correcting, so it's playing out in a different way. And I really love just to see how everybody works through that.
Yeah. You it sounds like you're more giving the space to, listen, this is the way that I see it should be done through my experience and through my knowledge. This is the way that it's best going to work out for you. But, they still have to have that space to, of course, we don't want harm to come to them. And if we thought they would be detrimental to them, then we put more force to it. But when it's a thing of, okay, it's like the stove. We always revert back to the stove situation. It's hot.
Yep.
Now I've told you it's hot.
Absolutely.
Now I can't put barricades up, and I'm not going to be watching you all the time.
Right.
And if you touch it, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to be there to help heal you, help wound. I know the things that I need to help heal the wound and all that. But if you listen to me, you may not have to experience those things.
Correct.
So I hear that that's what's happening with the generation or the children that has come behind the older child.
Correct. She was the experiment.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah, that's what happens. So you in the men's ministry. You're in United Christian Faith Ministry with us. We serve together in the ministry, and you are fellowshipping through the book club and things like that. What are some of the things that you hear when you all communicate with the men sharpening? And we don't have to go into specifics and definitely no names or anything like that, identification. But what are some of the things you hear that are on the men's mind if you all conversate like that? What are some of the things that you hear that men may be dealing with right now? And then we'll get into what are some of the resolves that we find with that.
Okay. So a lot of the things I hear have to deal with that transition, transformation, and reassurance that, you're getting it right. A lot of times we don't have a playbook. We don't know, the right answers, but you're expected to be that leader. So a lot of times it's like, how are you dealing with this? Or how are we dealing with this? Or when we read a topic in the book and it says, okay, this is, some of the issues that I face as a young husband or a young man. And then later on in life, this is how I handle it. So a lot of things, just the not knowing element of it, and then rediscovering how to do it in a Christly way. Other issues or faces is just that inner turmoil. A lot of times when we have a lot of pressure on our shoulders, we have things going on at work, we have things going on personally, personal struggles. Is like, you got to deal with that internal spirit and make sure that you're responding properly, because how I'm dealing with my own issues, I don't want that to or pass down out to the kids. I'm responding in anger or frustration. So those are some of the stuff that we just talk about.
Let me jump in on that one, because we get saved, everything is okay. Everything goes away. I mean, I hear people say this to me all the time. When I when I get upset about something, which I don't do a lot, thank
Right.
God anymore, because
Right.
I used to have a very bad temper.
Right.
But if I said something or I retaliate based on something you said or did to me, and the first thing they say is, "Well, you're supposed to be a Christian. You know, you're supposed to be a pastor." Like, none of that stuff is supposed to affect me because I have Christ in my life.
Right.
But the human element,
Yeah.
I think people lay aside once they realize that you are a Christian or you've given your life to Christ or you are a pastor serving in the ministry. It's almost like you're not human anymore. You know, you've somehow been elevated to this celestial being somewhere or something like that. But
Right.
what I hear you saying is you all are discussing, if they're not common amongst you all issues, they are relatable, I should say,
Yeah.
relatable issues. Then there are some things that, you know, I've experienced this before. I've been here. New fathers
Right.
with little children, they can come to you and say, "Hey, I'm having this issue." What I find is a lot of men just won't expose themselves like that.
Right. Well, I mean, that's not our experience there because, like I said, we've been having this group that's just been opening up. We're having a roundtable discussion, and it varies. So we got men there with adult children, and they're telling about the past mistakes when they were raising children, how they dealt with that, or how they're handling the new adult child parent relationship. We have new fathers. We have people who aren't fathers but aspire or trying to have children and
Yeah.
the struggles that they're facing. So it's been a lot of different perspectives that we were able to draw from. And,
Yeah.
you know, you get wisdom from the elders, and then also you pass down hope to the people that's still dealing with the current issues. But yeah, no, like I said, we cover a lot of topics.
I like how you just said that. You know, you get wisdom from the elders, but then you also turn and pass down knowledge to those. So you just keep the link going. I like that, man. That's good stuff.
Right.
Maybe it would help those who are out there looking and listening to us. That they may not serve in United Christian Faith Ministry. They may serve or fellowship somewhere else, or not at all.
Right.
And when they see this, they can say, "Hey, listen, I can relate to that."
Right.
The truth of the matter is, you were saying that you gave your life to Christ. How long ago do you?
That was 2021.
Okay, 2021. So I gave my life to Christ 30, like right after I met my wife.
Right.
You know, I gave my life to Christ. But before then, I lived that life.
Yeah.
You know, and one thing, when I came into the church, I did not want to be. I wanted to be real as I was out there. I wanted to be that
Right.
real.
Yeah.
But the problem with that was I thought I could bring the same stuff
Right.
to be real.
Absolutely.
But there was a transition or transformation that needed to happen.
Right.
I could keep the real, but the reason why I was being real had to
Right.
change.
Right.
And so I see that in your conversation about, you know, this is who I was, this is what I did, but then Christ.
Right.
In closing, I want you to do this. I want you to do me a favor. This is our first Father's Day segment. Give somebody from your heart, you know, nothing prompted or anything like that. Give somebody who's struggling, somebody who's looking, somebody who is raising a daughter or a son that, you know, they grew up with, you know, had them young or whatever have you, or a man that needs to get with other men but just don't know how to get past that barrier. What can you give them, man, to get them on the other side of that line?
I think one, like I said, you got to trust in Christ, trust in the promise, trust in yourself. The biggest thing, like you said, is being real. I know me personally, like, is struggling to move past that past hurt, past shame, past guilt.
Man.
Now I said I came to Christ in 2021. I was actually baptized years ago, 2006 actually, after I graduated college, and had a great walk, and then had a season where I backslid a lot. and you know, coming back to the fold, and it's like you're having to realize when you're walking in that new man era, like you really got to let go of all that past hurt and shame and guilt, and then just trusting in the people that's God has placed in your life now. I know I attribute a lot of my transformation to my wife. You know, she's able to identify, you know, some of the areas where I'm struggling in. I mean, even now, even though, you know, we, like you said, we walking in a new light, we still got that humanistic.
Absolutely.
And sometimes people can touch that nerve.
Absolutely.
And, you know,
Absolutely.
it's like she's able to kind of catch me and
Right.
redirect me, you know.
Right.
It's like, but yeah, no, trusting your abilities, man. God got you. God is always gonna be there to uplift me when I need uplifting, and nobody's else there doing it. You know, it's times where even if we're going through a season or a rough patch, and there's nobody there, is God there to comfort you, and you know it's gonna be okay. You gotta trust in
Absolutely.
the promise.
Man, I love having this conversation, brother. It was good, man. I like it. Listen, you all, Rickey Thomas, guest on Cafe Talk. I appreciate you, bro. Maybe we get y'all back on, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Happy Father's Day to you.
Hey, save me, bro.
Thank you for joining me on another segment of Cafe Talk with Pastor Glover. See you when I see you.